All right, we are at Media Row presented by Toyota. We're sitting on our Lazy Boy recliners. Long live the lazy. And I'm joined by Chris Sims, NBC Sports NFL analyst, co-host of PFT Live and Unbuttoned podcast.
Right.
Chris,
and I'm drinking Pete's coffee, just so you know,
wow.
too. Right? I know how the game works.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
but this feels good right here.
You and Kyle Shanahan go back a long time. You guys are really good friends. Have you ever gotten arrested with him?
No, not. I mean, we probably were close a few times in our days in Texas, right? But no, never got arrested with him. We've had lots of fun together. But no, the arrest thing, I do remember him getting arrested, but it wasn't on my watch, right? If I was there, that never would have gone down. I would have saved them from that. But yeah, the old Indianapolis story between him and Raheem Morris, right?
Yes, yeah, it
right.
goes back to 2005 when they were entry-level coaches
right.
at Tampa Bay.
Right.
Do you know Raheem?
I know, yeah. Raheem was in Tampa Bay with me. That's that Tampa Bay team that I was there, and Kyle Shanahan was just getting into the business, right, as a coaching assistant. I mean, we had an incredible staff. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know, but Raheem Morris, Mike Tomlin, right, Monty Kiffin, of course, Rod Marinelli, the future head coach of the Detroit Lions, of course, John Gruden, right, Rich Bisaccia, who's the special teams coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. We had an amazing staff, but yeah, Mike Tomlin and Raheem were a special combination there.
Yeah, and that's where Kyle really started to learn the defensive side, right?
Definitely. I used to be leaving at night, right, and Kyle being my friend or whatever, and he was very involved in my growth as a quarterback. So I'd want to leave the night and kind of check in with him, like, hey, the coaches say anything I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And usually when I was getting ready to leave, he'd be sitting in the back of the defensive meeting room, and he'd be listening to how they were game planning and coaching things. And I always tell people, I think that's the secret to his success. Kyle is rare in that he's one of the few coaches in football that could coach the defense, too, as an offensive play caller. Right? Bill Belichick was like that. I think his dad was like that as well. And why he's so awesome of the offensive play caller is because he understands defenses so well. He knows how to expose people's rules. So if he knows the defense you're in, he's going to find something for someone on that defense to go, I'm going to put you in a bind. I know how your defense works, and I'm going to challenge those rules, and now somebody's going to be wide open, and that's where he's brilliant.
And then, consequently,
right.
Raheem Morris was a wide receivers coach with the Falcons when Kyle was there.
Right.
So how does that work the other way? Same principles apply?
Well, Raheem definitely, yeah. I mean, when Raheem plays Kyle or whatever else, I'm always like, well, he's going to know some of Kyle's tricks there for sure. And then they had crossover even in Washington, right? With the Commanders, when Mike Shanahan was the head coach there, they were on that staff together as well. So they've got a lot of common knowledge. But yes, I think between Raheem not only being a brilliant defensive coach and the people he's been around, I think he does have a little bit of that, what we're talking about, where because he's been around McVay and Shanahan so much, he really understands how offenses operate at a high level too.
With Kyle's personality, how important do you think it was for Kyle to know what he's getting with his defensive coordinator and not go outside?
And to me, it's like familiar but outside. I love it for this reason. I've been the 49ers and Shanahan's defense has been rooted in the Seattle concept, right? Seattle 3, right? The press bail 3, what we saw the Legion of Boom do. Really every defensive coordinator he's had other than Steve Wilkes has been rooted in that scheme there. Raheem has some roots there, but I think his defense is a little bit more diverse and not just that. And that's where I'm excited. Because to me, that will help out and maybe Super Bowls against a Mahomes or whatever else to kind of go, hey, we're really good at defense, but we only really run these 4 or 5, and that's all we do. And Raheem has a little bit more versatility to dial up, and I think that's going to help the 49ers.
So where can Raheem Morris take the 49ers defense?
I think that's where he can make it. I mean, we've seen it be a top defense in football, right? So I think we can get there, but I think where Raheem could take it to another level is big plays, big turnovers, and big moments by the defense in big games. Instead of going, man, our defense is good. It's kind of bend, don't break. I hope Bosa gets a sack or Fred Warner makes a play. He's going to create some plays for the defensive side of the ball. Instead of, as we've seen with the 49ers, well, I hope Shanahan can just drive them down again here and do that on the offensive side of the ball, right? So that's where I think it can make a difference.
Well, what's on the 49ers checklist? What do they have to accomplish this offseason to get to where they want to get?
Well, I think, offensively, offensive line, they could probably improve that a little bit. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy in that. Could they do they need another difference maker on the offensive side of the ball? We're coming towards the end of the Christian McCaffrey, I'm in the prime of my career era, right? He's starting a slope on the downward slope here right now. So I do think receiver explode, because I don't expect Brandon Ayuk to be back.
No.
I think I kind of look at it that way. They got some good young defensive talent. I think it'll just more about be thinking of the future. But I think when I think overall, just real quickly off the top of my head, yeah, they can make that O-line better, and they need a big-time playmaker on the offensive side.
Yeah, you grew up in the heyday of the 49ers-Giants rivalry.
Oh, my God, yeah.
The 49ers have always been measured by, is it a Super Bowl win? No. Then therefore it must be a failure.
Exactly.
How do you view, Kyle has done such a good job for 9 years, he and John Lynch together, but they don't have that hardware. How do you view where the 49ers have been and where they can go?
Yeah, well, it hurts as a friend and somebody that, the 49ers made me cry a lot as a kid, because you jerks are always winning games and doing all that. But, I, of course, root for the 49ers. And now I've been hurting on the other side of that, the 49ers lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Shanahan we heard Troy Aikman at the end of the year. He goes, if I'm starting a franchise, Kyle Shanahan's the coach I'm getting. Kyle Shanahan's definitely one of the 2 or 3 best head coaches in football. And not debatable. I think if you go around and all my coach friends and people I know around the NFL, Kyle was kind of a gold standard that way. Yeah, they haven't won the Super Bowl. But it also, been a little unlucky in the fact that you come around and get really good when one of the greatest dynasties we've ever seen, really, with one of the greatest players we've ever seen, and also one of the clutchest players we've ever seen, in Patrick Mahomes. And that's where I feel for my buddy. They're going to get it one day. I know that. I believe in that. I think he's too phenomenal. Him and Lynch have an eye for building a team, and then, of course, he knows the X's and O's to get that team over the hump.